What it do? Yo, y'all see these? Y'all see them coming in, bro? Oh, y'all see these coming in? That's hard. I'm not even gonna say that's hard work, but that's semi-hard work. It's semi. I did like 600 for abs today. I did 1,000 reps. About 600 of those reps went to abs. Trying to get these back in motion. But yo, great Tuesday. I mean, Tuesday. Monday, Moon Day, Personality Day. Great Moon Day to you all. Alright? It's been a productive day. We slept in for a bit. Woke up and got right on our practices, man. It's been a great day, man. When I got some training in at the gym. Got like banged out some squats. Did some weights today. Banged out like 90 squats. Maxed out at 182 for 5 reps. And then went down to like 160 something. But yeah, man. Hey, man, listen. Getting your wants, getting those feelings that you really wanna have, embodying takes a lot of determination. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of persistence. It takes a lot of investing your time in the right things and of being persistent and consistent with your investment of your time into those right things. And of being patient, It takes a lot of patience to be able to obtain the clarity which allows you, that drive to persevere, through the obstacles that may come before you on your path to you obtaining your wants, your desires, the accomplishment of your goals, of your visions, and so on and so forth. It takes commitment, it takes sacrifice, and the sacrificing of gratifying pleasures, of the sacrificing of comforting things that in a way kind of just cause you to waste more time than you actually invest. And even if those things that you waste your time on still allow you to function to an extent, right? Like a functioning alcoholic, like a functioning weed addict, like a functioning glutton that, okay, you're overweight, but you're still able to manage, your finances. You're still able to bring a profit to the company. When you function in that setting, you don't truly function to your very best capacity possible, because you don't have the clarity. You don't have that clarity. Clarity is power, man. Like, the more clear you are on what it is that you want, why you want it, what it's gonna do for you, and how is it gonna impact not just your life, but the life of those around you, man. The greater the drive, the greater the focused attention of your passions will be on that thing that really, fires you up and gives you purpose, and the better the impact you'll have on your environment, man. For me, one of the things that really hindered my progress, I believe, was, smoking. I started smoking at 16. I started with weed, and I never had a problem with alcohol, even though I started drinking like around 10, 11. But marijuana was Mary Jane was my biggest obstacle. And thankfully, I left her back. I left her behind in 2021. And it took a lot of it took a while. It took me talking to myself and just like coming to conclusions to the fact that, You know, the only times that I ever stopped smoking marijuana was to go into the military and to fight. You know, I never truly made a commitment to stop smoking for something greater than myself, and it took me like just really like sitting back and like just thinking like, bro, you know, you committed, you stopped doing this thing for Uncle Sam, for an institution. You stopped doing this thing, or you manage discipline over it to go and fight. You know what I'm saying? And for yourself. But can you do it for something greater than yourself? Can you do it for life? Can you do it for that which we call God, right? The logos. Can you commit to something greater than yourself? And you know, it's been almost a year since I made that commitment to like, you know, what I believe life has in store for me is more important than immediate gratification, and and it's greater than any fears that I may have. Like at the end of the day, we all die, you know. So can't be walking around through life with fear in your mind and your soul. Like at some point in time, you got to just stand up to yourself, choke the life out of that coward that lives within you, out of that manipulator, out of that deceiver, out of that lazy bum, you know, out of that wasteful individual, and begin to embody those virtues that do fill your body, mind, and soul with the fire of passion, of love, of enthusiasm, of endurance. You know what I'm saying? Just like, hey, great day, Elif. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well in Germany. But yeah, man, and you know and it's crazy because, you know, less than a week after I stopped smoking weed, you know, I started bringing my niece over, right, my 7-year-old niece, and in 2020, you know, you had the whole online learning, so her mom couldn't help her with her school. So what I did was that, you know, I would bring her over. I would go pick her up at her mom's and bring her over with all her schoolwork, with her computer and everything. And I would have her, you know, I would wake her up every morning, and I go through my whole routine. I go through my meditation, my reading, my making my tea, and I would wake her up and, hey, Selena, go brush your teeth. Like, you know, I started like really life coaching my little niece in my own apartment because I had the liberty to, you know, I didn't feel pressure to smoke. You know, if I would have still been smoking, I would have never brought a child into my apartment because I would feel like it was a nuisance, right? Like, this kid is in my way. Like, I can't really enjoy my peace and quiet like I want to. But once I stopped, you know, smoking, once I stopped doing those things that are really selfish, like when you're indulging in any kind of addiction, is a really selfish act. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, nobody else is getting anything out of it but you. And if somebody is not benefiting from something that you are doing, if what you're doing isn't going to bring value to the rest of the world in some way, shape, or form, then you are doing it for selfish reasons, and you're gonna pay the price. You know, we all pay the price for the things that we do out of selfishness, right? Like, if we only seek money and we don't try to bring value to others through the financial gains that we meet, that money is never going to fulfill us, and we're never going to know why we're always just continuing to go for the money, or for the sexual pleasures, or for the food, or what. And it's because most of the time we're doing it for selfish reasons. You know, we're not doing it, we don't have a why behind the things that we're doing, right? So that's going to cause us to feel overwhelmed with emotions that are not beneficial to us. Thank you, love. And, you know, so once I stopped smoking, man, I had my niece over. I had one of my boys that sadly, you know, passed away like 2 or 3 years ago off for an overdose. His baby moms hit me up, and she was like, "Yo, can you help me out with so and so with her son?" Her older son was 10, and I actually had the young man come and sleep actually on this futon right here that I'm sitting on, you know, a few times. Multiple days stayed over. In that time, I coached them as it relates to self-defense. You know, I coached them on, you know, the value of hygiene as a man. You know what I'm saying? On eating right. You know, I just gave them some pointers here and there. I mean, when I was that old, all I wanted was knowledge, right? I just wanted to know what was right and what was wrong. So I just try to pass as much information as I could into him, pour as much information as I could that he could understand at the moment and that he could use in the immediate and also in the future. But had it not been me for me removing that that vice of just abusing marijuana, um, that would have never been possible. And as it relates to Mary Jane, I got nothing against her, man. I would still use her, and I still plan on using her because the plant, the plant is medicine. Plant is medicine. And as it relates to marijuana, a lot of people don't know this, but marijuana is a reflectionary plant, right? They call it the gateway drug, but it's not really a gateway drug. It's a gateway psychedelic. You know what I'm saying? It's the lightest. It is really great for reflecting. And prior to it being sensationalized through the mainstream media, marijuana was used as a spiritual, right? It was used for some shamanic rituals to induce psychedelic spiritual experiences in individuals that were in need of it, right? So, and that's just smoking it, right? You can consume it, and it's so powerful, man. It's so medicinally powerful as it relates to cancer fighting properties, balancing the autoimmune system, balancing the endocrine system, which is the cannabinoid system within our body that is actually brought into balance when we consume cannabinoids like hemp and marijuana. It is great for depression, for anxiety, for stress, for hunger suppression, and for also inducing hunger if you're having any problems. So cannabis, marijuana is it's a very powerful, nutritious and healthy plant and a medicine. It's just that in the society that we live in today, it's highly abused. Like I honestly didn't begin to use weed, marijuana in the proper way up until I started fighting. Like it was when I started practicing martial arts and getting into the ring and fighting that I actually learned the benefits of it, right? When I would smoke it only the day of my fight, like I would take a week or two not smoking, and then I have this ritual where the day of my fights, I sit down first thing in the morning as soon as I wake up, and with a cup of coffee, I smoke a blunt. And then from then on out, I'll go and meditate for 2 or 3 hours, just so that I can make sure that I have a great day and that I'm not over stressing a 6 or 8 minute fight and let that take over my whole, 17 or 16 hours of wake time that I have. So, Mary Jane is a very beneficial plant. And if you abuse it, you're not going to get any benefit of it. You're going to procrastinate a lot. You're going to become very slothful. You're going to waste a lot of time and energy. You're going to lose a lot of focus. And if you're young and you start smoking it young, then it's going to hinder the development of your brain and of your psyche to its fullest potential, because you are consuming something that is actually causing you to be slothful, to procrastinate, to be lazy. So, and that was just, my story as it relates to like addictions and weed. Like I never really had a problem with any other substance. I've done many other substances, and alcohol was just one of the first. But I've never felt I had a problem with addiction. The only thing that I ever felt I had a problem with was marijuana, smoking. 5 years in the military, all I did was smoke tobacco, cigarettes, and dipping tobacco. But once I started learning about addiction in the military, I had to tell myself that though I'm not addicted to this substance is highly addictive, and as soon as I'm done with my service, I'm done with it. So the moment that I was done with the Marine Corps, I was done with smoking cigarettes and dipping tobacco. But as soon as I left 7 years ago, I just kept smoking weed uncontrollably. And it literally took me up until last year, February 3rd of 2021, when I was just like one evening just sitting in my apartment. I just felt so overwhelmed that I just kind of like screamed at myself. I'm like, you're fucking done, bro. Like I just really took it so personal. And the fact that I want to do so many things in life, and that I truly felt as though smoking weed was hindering it because I was undisciplined with it. And discipline is key for me, has always been key. Like the only reason I went into the Marine Corps at 19 was because at 18 I realized I lacked discipline. I lacked self-discipline. I lacked a lot of, like, personal development skills and core values that I was not getting from neither school nor society. I didn't grow up with a father figure. I grew up with a single mom. Okay, my grandfather was there, but, like, an actual father, like, nah, man. So over the last 7 years, I've had to become my own father. How? By mastering my own vices, by becoming my own teacher, by being a good student of life and becoming a good teacher, becoming a good pastor to myself, a good master, and so my own father. And then in becoming my own father and learning how to deal with myself, in body, mind, and soul, and being emotionally aware of how to deal with my emotions, being a little bit more intelligent and more cognizant and conscious of how I react to people, I've been able to do the thing. Thankfully, thank the Most High, I've been able to do the same thing and provide that same value to my nieces and to my nephews. One is 14, the other one is 18. I got a 9-year-old niece about to be 10 and a 7-year-old that's about to be 8. So I've learned through them. I've had to become like their godfather. Not through a church, but because life made me that. And so, I'm fortunate. I'm blessed. I'm thankful that, I've always asked for more understanding than I've asked for comforts and luxury and things like that in life. And I still seek out that, right? Regardless of the financial gains that I seek in life, I would rather take the long way around and learn what I need to learn, so that when I have these things, I can put them to better use, and I don't feel like as though I don't know what to do with them, as though I've already reached the pinnacle of my growth. Nah, man. I'm only 31. I'll be 32 this year. I'm super young. I feel young. I feel so young, and it's because of the gratitude. Like, that's really where it's at, man. It's just feeling this great sense of gratitude for being alive, for being able to experience life, for being able to be there for my brothers, for my sisters, for my family, for friends, for people that you just meet on the streets. For individuals here on IG, and just thinking about all of the problems that are in the world, and how so many of us actually have solutions for these problems. And through the solutions that we provide, we can actually also provide solutions to our own personal problems by bringing other people solutions. So, yeah, I just wanted to come on and talk about that specifically today. So I caught myself talking to my coach about it, and my coach deals with his own, problems, and I guess he has never heard me, divulge or speak in this kind of way about, dealing with my own issues. And that's because he probably doesn't watch my videos. But I speak, I'm very personal, I make sure that I use